What's up, nerds? It's 1979. Do you know where your toys are? Welcome to New York City, February 1979, and we are at Toy Fair. Here is the catalog from Kenner for 1979. What's new in the toy world? Let's find out. 2 years ago, this little movie called Star Wars came out and just kind of rocked the world, right? But so it is, of course, first and foremost on everybody's minds in 1979. What is new for Star Wars? Well, I'll tell you what's new. We're going to take a peek. We've got Greedo and the Cantina creature. He comes with a laser pistol. I'm pretty sure Greedo was my very first Star Wars figure. We've got R5-D4, Snaggletooth, Hammerhead, the Power Droid, X-Wing pilot Luke Skywalker, the Death Star droid, Walrus Man, Boba Fett. Who the hell is this guy? All right. Then up here, of course, we've got the Tusken Raider. We've got all the figures we already had, right? The Death Squad Commander, C-3PO, R2-D2, Han Solo, all of those figures, right? We already went over those. We saw those. Those are old news. These are the new guys, right? So, yeah, this is our introduction to the action figures of 1979 for Star Wars. From the blockbuster movie Star Wars, right? This is still, I think this is still pre A New Hope. I don't think it was re-released in theaters yet with the subhead of A New Hope Episode 4. But anyway, let's dive a little bit further into it. We see we're now getting collector's cases. So these figures are now hot stuff, and kids want to take these figures on the road. So, of course, we've got these, right? These really cool action figure cases. Specifically, like this, right? You get your action figure case. Little cardboard insert right there. This thing has seen some better days. Very cool. You flip it over and you get the other side. That's very cool also. Who's this Boba Fett guy? I keep seeing pictures of him and hearing about him, but I don't know who he is. But yeah, so of course, if you didn't know, the cases, the figure cases right here, you could label them to contain all your favorite action figures, and if you wanted to, you could flip them over, and on the back side, you had stands for your figures, little pegs to put your figures on. So that's pretty cool, right? All right, moving on. I promise you I'm not going to whip out every single thing I should probably rephrase that. I'm not going to bring out every single thing I show in the catalog as we go about it, but it just so happened that the case was right here by my feet while we were going over that page. So pretty cool though, huh? Yeah, pretty neat. All right, moving on. So of course you've got your merchandising, pretty much the same merchandising from 1978, just now features some of the new characters. So yeah, not bad, pretty cool. Moving on, we've got a Dewback now. We've got our first creature, other than the Dianoga that was in the Death Star Space Station. So we've got the Patrol Dewback, Tatooine creature ridden by stormtroopers searching for C-3PO and R2-D2. We've also got the Creature Cantina with action figure action. Recreate the exciting action in the weird Mos Eisley Cantina. Was pretty strange. Still think it's just kind of wrong that it took us so many years to finally get the Cantina banned. But moving on. Not going to dwell on that. We've got the Land of the Jawas playset. Very cool. That actually came with the escape pod for R2-D2 and C-3PO, of course. Land of the Jawas adventure set based on the mysterious beings of Tatooine Desert. And then we've got, of course, the Droid Factory. Now, this is the only place in the 70s and 80s where you could get R2-D2 with the third strut. That's it. You would get the character, you'd build him, and actually it came with all sorts of pieces where you could build some really weird stuff. It's a very cool little playset, but that R2-D2 is highly sought after because for vintage figures, it was the only one with that third strut leg. We revisit the Death Star PlayStation, Space Station. Jesus Christ, let's say PlayStation a few more times. Maybe I'll mysteriously get one, like Beetlejuice. So yeah, the Death Star Space Station. We've got the Micro Galaxy the Star Wars diecast vehicle series 1 that we went over in the last catalog. Series 2 right here with the Millennium Falcon, the Y-Wing Fighter, and, of course, the Star Destroyer. That's the Star Destroyer I took to kindergarten for show and tell. When a friend of mine actually brought the escape pod from the land of the Jawas, I brought this, and that's actually how we became friends. And we just played in the schoolyard with our toys. You could do stuff like that back then. Then, of course, we're back to the other stuff that we had before. We got the Land Speeder, the X-Wing Fighter, the Imperial TIE Fighter, but now we actually have Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. This is a really freaking cool toy. Very, very cool toy. It is not movie accurate because the back end of the TIE Fighter in the movie, of course, extends past this. It's basically the basic TIE Fighter painted gray with different wings. But it was so freaking cool. Darth Vader TIE Fighter, the diabolical villain's very own spaceship. That's right. Very cool. It shows you all the different features down here. And the box. Very cool. Now, the pièce de résistance, the Millennium Falcon playset. I had this thing growing up, and man, I would take it outside, fly it around the neighborhood. I wasn't nerdy at all. No way. So we've got the Star Wars Millennium Falcon spaceship, authentic, detailed replica of the speedy space vehicle piloted by Han Solo with his co-pilot Chewbacca. Very, very cool. Shows you all the different features that came with the Millennium Falcon. It's just and it still is, for its time. That was just an epic playset with its sound effects, and it was awesome. All its little hidden features, very, very cool. All right, then we get back to the blasters that we already went over in the last episode. I love this thing. The Imperial Troop Transporter never made an appearance in the movies. There was something kind of like it, a very small little vehicle in the Rebel base on Yavin 4, but it was not this. Now this thing, one of the reasons I love it so much is it had the little sound effect button right there, and you could there were actually several, you could hit the different buttons and it would have a legitimately accurate sounding voice pop out of it, including R2-D2, C-3PO, Stormtrooper. I don't remember who else was in there. Mine's in a box, so I can't drag it out this show. Let's see. It has the voices of Stormtrooper, C-3PO, R2-D2 beeps. What else? Yeah. Okay, I guess that's it. Is that it? That can't be it. There's more people. I don't know. I think there's also some laser sounds as well. So there's 6 exciting Star Wars sounds, and it accommodates up to 11 action figures. They just recently put that in The Mandalorian, and it's just epic. I love the fact that they actually delve into the toys more in that. This beast right here. Now, let's talk about the damn Sandcrawler. This thing was very ambitious for its time. I mean, you had the electronic movement, right? The radio control movement for it. It was so detailed, and it had the cockpit and all that you could open up, and it actually showed you parts of the Sandcrawler you never saw, like the cockpit. And it was just an epic vehicle, right? I didn't have it as a kid. I always wanted it, and I got one as an adult, but man, it cost a pretty penny. It is a very, very cool little vehicle. I highly recommend it. If you can try and find one in good shape that's working, do it, because it's really, really cool. Star Wars radio-controlled Jawa Sandcrawler helped the scavenger Jawas transport their droids using radio control. It also has the little port right here that you can put R2-D2 and put him up into the up there into the Sandcrawler cargo hold. Cargo hold is really cool. It fits multiple figures. The cockpit can fit a few figures as well. It's just a really neat toy. I can't quite tell you how much I love this particular one. Finding one in a box too. Whew, that's going to cost you. That will cost you. So moving on, we've already covered the R2-D2, who now looks a lot more like the actual toy than it did in the last catalog. So there's a little bit more detailing on the legs and on the chest right there. On the barrel body right there. The other one almost looked like the vintage action figure with the label on it just blown way up. But this one is much more accurate. What else have we got? We've got the lightsabers we covered a couple of episodes ago. Whew, look at these. These are the really cool. I don't have any of these, and I don't think I'm going to dive into them because they don't quite fit what I do with my collection. But these 12-inch figures are pretty freaking cool. You've got, of course, Luke, Darth Vader, C-3PO, R2-D2, Obi-Wan Kenobi, that freaking Boba Fett guy again. I don't know who that is. A Stormtrooper, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and a Jawa. That Stormtrooper looks really cool right there, but I don't know if that is just... I think those are just mock-ups. I don't think that's actually what the Stormtrooper looked like. I remember him having bent elbows. Interesting. And I definitely don't think Boba Fett had a bent elbow either. But I could be wrong. I don't have them. So if you have one, let me know in the comments below what the differences are between the actual figure and these 12-inch figures here. I'm pretty sure Leia, Han, the Jawa, Luke, C-3PO, R2-D2, Darth Vader, Chewbacca, I think those are, and Obi-Wan, I think they are all accurate. I just think those two right there, there's something hinky going on here. So we're going to skip over, won't dwell anymore on those. Your merchandising for the Star Wars Fun Center, where you can make your stores Star Wars profit centers. We're back with that tagline. Of course, we've got the games, the Adventures of R2-D2 board game. Never heard of it. Wow. Of course, the Death Star Escape game that was in the last episode. And the Star Wars Destroy the Death Star game. I don't remember that one. I don't remember that one at all. But it looks kind of fun. You got these little tokens here. Let's pick this up so you can take a closer look. Got these little X-Wing Fighter and TIE Fighter tokens. That's kind of cool. Yellow Squadron, Red Squadron, or Gold Squadron and Red Squadron. Jesus. Do I even Star Wars? You even have a Green Squadron over there? All right, let's go on to Topple, a strategy chain reaction game. Okay, it's kind of like Jenga, but kind of like dominoes at the same time. What have we got here? We've got Skirid. Are you Skirt? I'm Skirt. Skirid. Okay, don't care. Electronic Laser Battle game is back. This one I remember, the Electronic Battle Command game. That's kind of neat. All right. Let's see. Frantic. It's kind of like Plunko from The Price is Right, right? Or the, what is that? The Wall on NBC with Chris Hardwick. Then we got, here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Balls A Poppin'. That's right. This game is called Balls A Poppin'. Wow. All right, moving on. Let's not dwell. We've got Hungry Hungry Hippo Cat Edition with the Snap Cat where he eats little mice. That's twisted. What do we hear? We've got some puzzles, some jigsaw puzzles from Star Wars. Very cool. There's some cool artwork going on here. We've got soapsters again, little soap. That's what they are. You put the soap inside the soapster and then you roll it all over your child and wow. Star Wars Toothbrush returns. We've got non-spill play sets. These are painting, like painting Dipidots. Interesting. Very cool. Star Wars painting set. Ooh, more Baby Alive. I'm just going to skip over Baby Alive because we've already had rashes and we fed the baby and we've changed the baby and we've taken the baby to the doctor. Oh my God. Now we're turning the baby into a golden girl. Sweetie face. Make her pretty or even pretty funny. I'd make her look like Gene Simmons, personally. I mean, it is 1979, and Gene Simmons, of course, is my favorite rock and roll star right now in 1979. Yeah, no, not really. But, you know, you can check its heartbeat and see if you've raised it with all the terrible makeup you've put on it. What have we got here? We've got Seawee's Lagoon for Seawee's dolls. I've never heard of these. Shouldn't we have had the dolls featured before the actual playset? But okay. Neat. So, Stretch Armstrong returns and Stretch X-Ray. Never had a Stretch Armstrong, but there is a Stretch Octopus. So that's neat. Again, the return of the Spirograph and the Spectrograph and the Spirotops. Blah. Ooh, what have we here? Megabug. It's kind of like, oh geez, what was the name of that? Sectors? It's like a precursor to Sectors, it looks like. We've got the Mega Spider, the Dragonfly, the Megabug, and the Scorpion Megabug. They're little robotic bugs. That's kind of cool. We've got like a cockpit or something in that abdomen right there. That's kind of neat. I like those. I'd never buy them, but I like them. Yeah, it's kind of like a cross between Transformers and Sectors, and you know, back when Transformers were Diaclones and they had little pilots that you'd put inside of them. Interesting. What else have we got? We've got Finger Pops. We've got Bop Bags. They return this time with Chewbacca and the Jawa. If you want to punch a Jawa in the face, you can do that now. Sit and Spin. Woohoo! Spider Rider. What the hell is that? Okay, Spider Rider. Spin beautiful designs with thread. Spider Rider is a totally new concept in design making toys. Urethane foam mat resembles a spider's web with hundreds of pre-punched holes. The bobbin and thread are placed inside the Spider Rider, and I have lost all interest. Okay, neat. You can make art with yarn and a robot spider. Is it a robot spider? No, it's not a robot. It's not battery powered. You do it yourself. Interesting. Milk Your Cow again. We've got Alvin the Aardvark returns. We've got Quick Picture again. We've got Trail Tracker Van. Oh, right, the Trail Tracker Van. He's back. That's cool. Again with the Trail Tracker. Ooh, we've got a hound dog. So you can do the Trail Tracker Van, but this time with animals. That's kind of cool. It's actually really neat. It's actually a really neat concept. We've got the family treehouse. Now, I believe this family treehouse is the same mold that they use later on for the Ewok playset, for the Ewoks animated cartoon playset. So we will see this guy again probably around 1985 or 86. Moving along, we've got Bingo the Catch Me puppy. You can force push him by his ass. You can just push him using the force, and he just goes. Starting our young obsession with phones, we've got the Call Me Back telephone, the talking telephone that even calls you back. If your boyfriend ghosts you, at least the phone will call you back. Anyway, we've got Breezy and Babe. Help Breezy full, just like real life. Help Breezy full, just like real life. I don't know what that means. Okay. Oh, okay. The horse is pregnant and gives birth to the foal. That's what it means. I had a horse when I was growing up, but it was a boy horse, so we didn't have to worry about that. Wow. Okay, peep squeaks. That's actually kind of cool, though, if you think about it. I think that's better than teaching somebody how to be a mom. Teaching somebody how to care for an animal. Wow. Peep squeaks. Puppets. Okay. What else have we got? We've got a first aid kit. We've got a toy first aid kit and a play center for merchandising the Discovery stuff. I guess this was all Discovery, and this is the play center for Discovery merchandising. Moving on, we've got Darcy. That is the generic. Darcy is the generic Barbie. Let me see. Darcy CoverGirl. Okay. What have we got? For today's lifestyle, introducing today's woman, the beautifully posable doll, Darcy. Darcy has lifestyle fashion. She can be a disco diva. She could be apparently a monk in the Himalayas. She can be a Jane Fonda's workout partner. Very, very cool. She can, whoever that is, she can be her, I guess. She can wear fashion clothes. Wow, that didn't last long, I'm thinking. I have never heard of Darcy. Darcy has a photo studio. Darcy could be a cowgirl. She can get married and be a ballerina. That's neat. Oh my God. Darcy can go to the disco where she can dance next to these penis-shaped jellyfish. She has a pinball machine and a jukebox, and neat. We're back to Monster SSPs for Speed Streaks for Speed Freaks. The Star Wars vans are there again. We've got Smash Up Derby Sloppy Jalopies. That's kind of fun. RPM Racers. Radarc Muscle Control Machine. Oh, that's weird. So you make a muscle, it sends a message to the vehicle, and the vehicle moves. That's interesting. That's, wow. I don't see that lasting long either. Neat. Ooh, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That's kind of cool. I actually think I have that horse, but I do believe that horse right there is, or the horse mold right there is the same horse mold they used for Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1980. Or is that 81? When did Raiders come out? Is it 1981? Regardless, I believe that horse mold right there is exactly what was used for Raiders of the Lost Ark. And here we've got Butch Cassidy. We've got the Sundance Kid. We've got, who have we got here? We've got Marshall LaForge, Sheriff Bledsoe, and O.C. Hanks. So we've got all these really, really cool characters from this movie that I don't think was made for kids, but we've got toys for it. So it's cool what they used to make toys for. What else? We've got Butch and Sundance, the early days, the Mint Wagon. So these little mini figures where they can, rob. Did they have horse-drawn carriages that were made of steel? I don't recall. I don't remember. I don't know if I ever saw Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I think they committed suicide at the end, didn't they? We've got more building sets for the Construct. Is that like Ken's construction set or something? Construct. We've got the return of the plush dolls for Star Wars with Chewbacca and R2-D2. We've got Munch Mates where you can feed your stuffed animals burgers and stuff because that's healthy. We've got a record player. Again, the solid state electronic close and play. That's really interesting. I think you put your record in there and you close it, and the needle is all in there, and it just plays it through a speaker on the top. That's interesting. The electronic pack and play organ. I don't know why I'm looking. I don't care. You don't care either. Electronic play in playback organ, not pack and play. Okay. Soft sounds where you can make little. I think it's like a piano. You can dance on it like you were Big. Like you're Tom Hanks and Big. We've got the return of the movie viewer and the projector. Neat. Joe Hart. Ooh, we've got Sean Cassidy here. We've got the Sean Cassidy action figure, the Hardy Boys. Frank Hardy and Joe Hardy. Very neat. I know my mom freaking loved Sean Cassidy. Oh my God. Whenever he had a comeback in the 1980s with a record deal and all that, she bought that cassette and would wear it out. If it wasn't country music, it was Michael Bolton, Phil Collins, or Sean Cassidy. That's what I got to hear growing up. Poor me. No wonder I hate country music now. We've got the return of the Easy Bake Mini Wave Oven. That's right. Gross out your family with really, really nasty baking goods. We've got other Easy Bake kits. Betty Crocker Juice Blender, so you can get juice with Betty. That's neat. The iceberg, and we're back to Play-Doh. Lots of different Play-Doh sets where you can make messes. And did any of you ever, you'd like make this? I would have this problem. I would make these. I'd make this dinosaur, which by the way, it's a Stegosaurus. It's my favorite dinosaur. You would make the Stegosaurus, you do the pink and the yellow and the red, and then you try and separate it, but you could never get your Play-Doh to separate properly, so then you just have mixed colors all over the place, and it would just be a giant rainbow mess. That's why I didn't like Play-Doh. I couldn't separate my colors after I played with it. Ooh, we've got the return of the Fuzzy Pumper. That is just so wrong. The return of the Fuzzy Pumper. The Fuzzy Pumper Pet Shop. That's right, kids. Now you can pet your Fuzzy Pumper pets. Burger and malt shop, so you can make burgers and malts that, of course, you can't eat because it's Play-Doh. I mean, you can eat Play-Doh, I guess. It smells good. Dr. Drill and Fill. Are you an aspiring dentist? Well, I've got a toy for you. I've got Dr. Drill and Fill Dentistry Fun with Play-Doh. Wow, man. Those are some cavities right there. Yeah, you definitely need to get that taken care of. I'm going to show this to my dentist. He'd probably get a kick out of it. He probably had it. All right. And that's it, kids. That's our fun center for Play-Doh right there. And the end of our 1979 catalog. Wow. You can find commercials for all of these great things on Scooby-Doo and on Captain Kangaroo or the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Hour. And ads and good housekeeping. You got to make sure your mom knows that you can get an Easy Bake Oven and learn how to take care of baby diaper rashes, right? That's best to do that in Woman's Day or Red Book or Family Circle, right? Then we've got the Pink Panther, of course, and the Return of Fat Albert, and of course, in comic book form right there. What have we got? We got Casper. We've got is this Marvel Comics Group? All right, so you can advertise. All these toys will be advertised in all these places, and then you can pick them up for your kids. So that's it. 1979 in a nutshell. We're going to hop back into the airplane, into the time machine. We're going to go from 1979 back here to 2024. And when next we meet, we're going to be traveling to New York City, February of 1980, and see what the 80s have in store for us. You know, I got a good feeling about the 80s. I think it's going to be our decade. So that's it, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in and keep it nerdy.